Babe, wake up. A whole new Luigi photo shoot just dropped. Gotta wake up the kids. Come on, this is huge news. Oh my god.
They want that Luigi Mangione deep. That's what they want.
What is kind of fascist, what is giving fascism a little bit? Murdering people in cold blood because you disagree with them and don't like them. No process, no trial, no crimes alleged or committed, just killing people in cold blood, tracking them down, murdering family man, father of two, because you have big policy disagreements with the system that he works in. Yet, many on the woke left, many young people in particular, are cheering for somebody who's accused of doing that. Luigi Mangione, the alleged killer who allegedly killed Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Well, Luigi just made his first court appearance in a preliminary hearing in New York City, and throngs of adoring fans and romantic admirers, to put it, I guess, in a PG-13 manner, were outside the courtroom chanting for him to be freed. Let's take a look at some interesting, I guess, footage that was captured near the courthouse.
I'm here with my friends because we support Luigi Mangione for unaliving CEO Brian Thompson, because we take a stand. We take a stand, and most of the world as well is tired of insurance companies being corrupt.
Hey, so this is actually insane. Imagine that young woman that you just saw, that you just heard from, going with your face up on camera to a reporter. This was from the Daily Mail, that clip I just played. And saying, yeah, we support the guy who murdered someone, allegedly. But they're not saying, when they say free Luigi, let's be very clear about something. They're not saying he's innocent. I'm always believing innocent until proven guilty, though he sure looks guilty in this case. But, like, they're not saying free him because he's innocent, he's being framed. No, they're saying free him because he's hot and because we support the murder we believe he did. That is demonic. That is unhinged. That is psycho. And to get up with your whole chest, with your whole face on camera and talk about it, like, girl, your Google results are about to be haunted for life, and deservedly so, honestly. Now, the way social media responded to this man's court appearance was by talking about how hot he is and how good he looked at trial. I mean, it's some of the most unhinged stuff I've seen on TikTok, and, like, that's saying something. Take a listen to this little compilation I made for you guys, because I saw this stuff and it gave me permanent brain damage, so you have to suffer too.
He could hit me with a fucking car. He could run me over. He could hit me with a car and then back up and do it again. And I would be like, baby, I'm so sorry. I get that.
We got new pics of him in forest green. The cars outside were clearly on his team. Luigi serving in green.
Babe, wake up. A whole new Luigi photo shoot just dropped. Gotta wake up the kids. Come on, this is huge news. Oh my god.
I guarantee you, Luigi did not need to be wearing that bulletproof vest. But thank you, because he looked the good in it. He looks delicioso. He looks the good. When you fucking pigs wear it, it looks like a turkey wrapped in bacon is trying to bust out, bitch. But, you know, I understand why you guys put a vest on him. Because you want him to think that people out here are after him. That people out here are mad at him. No, the only thing they're after is not what you think it's for. They want that Luigi Mangione deep. That's what they want.
I just have no words for some of these people. I mean, look, sure, he's an attractive guy, but he's accused and looks almost certainly guilty of literal terrorism, literal politically motivated acts of targeted violence to try to spread a political message. That is the textbook definition of terrorism. And of course, the brutal murder accomplished nothing. He's been replaced with another CEO. The healthcare system isn't somehow reformed because of this. If anything, it made insurance people look more sympathetic. I'm not telling y'all you can't be upset about US healthcare, which is messed up beyond belief. You can't be mad at insurance companies. Of course you can. I'm sure they do all sorts of terrible stuff. But murdering people that you disagree with or even hate in cold blood is not the answer. And a society that glamorizes that or thirsts for it is deeply sick. Deeply, deeply sick in the head. And guys, it's not just a couple of TikTokers. Polling shows that a plurality, 41% of young people support what he did and said it was acceptable. Thankfully, only 17% of the broader public shares that view, but by age group, 18 to 29-year-olds, nearly half think it's okay to just murder people you disagree with in cold blood. No due process, no trial, no crimes accused or proven whatsoever. Just killing people in the streets because you feel like it and you don't like them and you disagree with the system they represent. That's psychotic. That's so dangerous. I can't explain to you enough that is a belief system that these young people hold, and that if they become the majority one day, and a huge portion of our society believes that, literally threatens the fabric of our civilization. I really try not to engage in hyperbole. I try not to overstate stuff and say stuff's the end of the world, but that belief system does threaten civilization, because a society where people just kill each other willy-nilly over disagreements and it's fair game and viewed as morally acceptable is a society that descends into anarchy. Not law and order, not rule of law, not a democratic society where you solve your differences at the ballot box, where you prosecute criminals in a fair system. It is anarchy. It is a free-for-all. And guess what, babe? If you are okay with this logic, because say that you're very upset with the US healthcare system, you hate insurance companies, they can do this to Planned Parenthood executives. They can do this to trans activists. Like, if you want to set this rule that violence is fair game, and God forbid a jury, and I worry that there's a small chance this could happen, a jury just nullifies it and just lets him go, not guilty, even if, like, and I'm describing in a situation where the evidence showed he's guilty, but the jury just decides to let him go because they agree with him or whatever, they share this 41% view, that would be a disaster. And I think would lead to a spree of political violence in this country that could actually spiral us into anarchy. Meanwhile, TikTokers and protesters are just obsessed with how good he looks in green. Y'all are cracked in the head, and you are sucking my hope and my optimism about the future of American society. You are sucking it from my soul in real time. But other than that, though, everything's great. This is fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you disagree with me? Do you somehow support Luigi? I've been surprised to see that there's some support for his actions across the political spectrum. I think it's totally wrong, and people of all political stripes should be against this. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. And now we're going to talk about another wild moment from CPAC, the massive conservative political conference that just happened, where Jack Posobiec, a right-wing influencer who made his name pushing a conspiracy theory called Pizzagate that turned out to totally not be true, but he's now like a big person on the right, said something that I think is kind of wild about Trump and about the Constitution. Take a listen to this clip.
Donald Trump is not violating the Constitution. Donald Trump is restoring the American Constitution. Donald Trump is the living embodiment of the American Constitution. Donald Trump is embodying the values of our founding fathers for the first time in a long time in Washington, D.C. President Trump came up and he found the destiny of the American people lying in the gutter. And he picked it up with his bare hands and he yelled, "Fight, fight, fight!" And the American people delivered their mandate to him and put it on his head. And as President Trump himself said just a few days ago, a man who saves his nation violates no law. That is the way forward in America.
Yeah, so I've said this many times. I don't believe that MAGA is a fascist movement or that Trump is a fascist. And I don't even believe that Trump supporters are in a cult or anything like that. But this guy, yeah, he's not beating the fascist allegations. He's not beating the cult allegations, not with this one. It's wild to me that such an extreme and unreliable figure is even elevated to a position of prominence in today's conservative movement. Like, the standards are just nowhere to be found when you made your name pushing a hoax, pushing a fake conspiracy theory. But anyway, on the substance of what he said, it is so wild to see him invoke the founding fathers, because the message he's conveying here would make them roll over in their grave. They did not want a king. They did not want a leader who was the law in and of himself. They specifically rebelled against that and set up a constitutional order with strict checks and balances meant to hold every politician in check, not anyone being the living embodiment of the Constitution. No, babe, that would imply that, like, whatever he does is constitutional. That is not the case. That is totally anathema to the system that our Constitution sets up, which is specifically meant to curtail the president and Congress and the judicial branch and have them all check each other because they didn't trust anybody. The whole point of the Constitution is to limit politicians' power. And every politician, basically every president in at least in my lifetime, has violated the Constitution in one way or another. The Supreme Court did rule against Trump on several occasions that things that he did were unconstitutional. And he doesn't just get to say, I am the living embodiment of the Constitution, I can do whatever I want. That actually would be fascism. Thankfully, Trump isn't doing that. He says he will abide by court rulings, but the fact that prominent supporters like this actually seem to want him to act like a king, that's insane and not conservative. At least not conservative in the sense of the conservatives that I grew up with, who are supposed to want to conserve the United States Constitution, not rip it up. And him saying this bit about like, well, you know, he who saves his country violates no law, this fake Napoleon quote, Napoleon never actually said it, is so wild. Because imagine that Barack Obama supporters had said, Obama, no, he is the living embodiment of the Constitution. When he tries to do something and they say it's unconstitutional, well, he's saving the country. So he can break no law if he's saving the country. People like this, and many of my friends on the right, would have screamed bloody murder. They would have said that this is authoritarianism, this is communism, all that, and I would have been with them. And I'm sorry, but the vision of a muscular president who is the embodiment of the law and can do whatever is necessary to save the country that Jack Posobiec here is popping off about to applause at a conservative political conference is deeply disturbing and frightening, and tells me that many of my friends on the right, I did see a lot of people say like, hang on, we like Trump, but we don't agree with this. But many of my friends on the right who have gone along with this and are caught up in this kind of cult of personality have truly lost their way. What do you guys think? Were you surprised to hear him say this? Or have you heard similar things from some people in MAGA world? Let me know in the comments. And do hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet.